Yo, what is going on today, guys? It's Sam, better known as Samito. It's time for the Season 3 tier list, man. A lot of interesting changes this season. It should be a fun one. I'm going to surprise you guys with a couple of these picks. I'm going to call out a couple sleeper broken characters that for some reason nobody is talking about yet. It's going to be a good one. Honestly, I think the game's in a pretty good spot right now. They found a way to rein in some of the sustain. Obviously, the big outliers are still there. But let's break this season down. Okay, let's start out with Adam Warlock, dude. I think Adam is B tier in ranked. Look, there are times where the triple res comp is very, very good, right? But it got some slight nerfs this season because it is really strong. It's just hard to actually set up the situation, at least in ranked, where you're going to be able to play around that Adam comp. He really is mainly viable with triple support comps with the Mantis and the Star-Lord, or one of the two, right? I think with Mantis being a bit better, at least she felt a bit better to me this season, it definitely helps him a lot to have her be a much more viable pick. You know, she kind of got the treatment Luna should have gotten post-season 0, but she's slowly making her comeback, so I'm going to give Adam the good old B tier. Very situational, but still very good and very if you're good at Adam, you can get value on this character 100%. It's just in ranked, most players aren't going to be able to. Black Panther, man. This is going to be one that surprises people. I'm going to put him in A tier in ranked, right? This tier list is mainly for ranked, not pro play, for obvious reasons. I mean, this character, when there's not a Loki or anti-dive, can just instantly take over a game, but he's so feast or famine. Again, I'm putting him in A tier because in ranked specifically, it's very easy for this guy to take over the game. That being said, it's also very easy to shut him down. Your Panthers are either going to be dominating the lobby or they're going to be fucking 8 and 10. Actually, for that reason, I'm putting him in B tier. Just because, I can't realistically put him in A tier because it's just too good. It's just too good for how inconsistent he can be. In the right situation, he's excellent. But if they counter swap against you, you need to swap, is pretty much what needs to happen there. When they go the triple support comp, you've got to switch. It's that simple. Stop inting on Panther when it's not working. But when you get your feast, it's going to be a big, big meal. It's going to be Thanksgiving, okay? The third Thursday of November. All right. Black Widow, man. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it, boys. I'm going to say it. I think this character is fucking broken, dude. This character, she's not actually S tier. She's S tier with a Mantis, I swear to God. She's high A tier, man. This character is so underrated, and here's why, okay? She does really great range damage. She can one-shot. A lot of the time, she's getting a Mantis pocket. The amount of top 500 games that are being taken over by Mantis Widow is insane. And that is because she is a sniper that you cannot dive. They need to change this. You cannot dodge or Black Widow stun. It needs to get changed, okay? And that makes her an excellent pick because anytime you try to go on her, take Iron Fist, for example. If I go on her as Iron Fist, even if I use my block to block her first, attack to stop the latch on the second hit, she will automatically still hit the second lock, and I can't block it. You cannot counter her stun. So you have a sniper that's one of the best range damage dealers in the game that with a damage boost can one-shot kill squishies with decent mobility and ult that can kill quite a bit of squishies, right? It's a solid ultimate, okay? That is undivable. There's your answer. The weakness that she should have, she doesn't have because her kit 100% of the time will deny that dive, and there's nothing you as a flanker can do about it. You cannot contest this character as dive, and I'm telling you, Black Widow is one of the 4 DPS that I've seen have the most consistent, dominant performances out of any of the DPS in the game. If there is a Widow in my game, 5 out of 6 of the games, they are top fragging and absolutely destroying the lobby. I honestly want to put her in S tier. I think she is the most sleeper, broken DPS in the game, and if they give this character one more minor buff, you're going to see her at S tier. Mark my words. It's crazy how she keeps getting the pass, but we'll get to Iron Fist in a bit. They've just destroyed that character. It's a damn shame. But yeah, Black Widow, at least A tier. I'm giving her an A+, okay? Hulk. I think Hulk is solid this season. I've seen a lot of Hulks actually getting value. He's definitely above B tier and ranked, right? The Namor team up is great, with Wolverine being good if he's not banned, right? He's a better option into Wolverine. Punisher's getting banned a lot. I'm actually seeing a lot more Hulk get played nowadays, and these Hulks are actually pretty good. So when you see a lot more Hulks come around in ranked, generally speaking, the hero's in a better spot. I'm putting him in A tier this season as well. Captain America, man. I think Cap... I hate Captain America. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he's one of the stupidest characters I've ever seen in a video game. Mostly because like the way he gets value is so insanely stupid. And I think if there's any character that should get reworked in the game, it should be Cap. I think he's up there for sure. Dumb character. He gets value in the stupidest ways that he shouldn't get value for. He's not actually doing anything of value. He's just running around. I'm gonna put him in B tier. Like I've seen Caps get enormous value. He's definitely not C tier. I'm gonna give him a B plus, right? I think he's great in ranked, mostly because you just can't kill the guy. You have to swap to the right matchup. I've been learning Mr. F to deal with him a little bit better. He's the type of character you must counter swap first, and then he slows down a bit, but I still think he's a solid character that you can play in ranked. Next up, we got Cloak and Dagger. I'm throwing in C and D and B tier as well. Like, you know, they're decent. Again, you still got to deal with the mags. You still got to deal with a lot of those things. But honestly, like, I think Cloak is a solid pick. Again, one of the better support ults in the game that you can live through. You know, a solid pick and rank. Like, nobody's going to complain if you're on Cloak necessarily in comp. But I don't think Cloak is one of the top supports in the game. But that being said as well, I don't think there are bad supports in this game. There's really not a bad support in this game at all. They're all really strong characters. Cloak, great healing output. Again, can fade and dodge. Decent against dive. Really just have to be careful against Maggle with your ult, but there is counterplay to that as well. I'm going to give Cloak a solid B here. Doctor Strange, I've actually seen Strange make a bit of a comeback in ranked. I'm going to give him an A-, okay? He's an A-. It really depends on if Punisher is banned. If Punisher and Wolf are banned, you can absolutely play a little bit of Strange in ranked. You can't really solo tank as Strange, but when you're running a 2-tank comp and Mag is the anchor, then you can. But I have seen quite a few Stranges get value in ranked. B+, I'm gonna put him in B+. He's a B+, A-, okay? He just gets ripped by Punisher and some of the poke damage in the game so hard that I've got a hard time ranking him higher than that. But he is a solid pick, and you can absolutely get a lot of value on Strange if you play him well. Just make sure you're banning the Punisher and you don't get bulldozed by Rocket Punisher ult, because that Rocket Punisher ult just rips Strange in half, okay? All right, Emma Frost. Insane. Insanely good. I mean, Emma, she's so good against she's good against everything, dude. She's good against everything. She's a super strong character. Honestly, a fun addition to the game. I don't think that's going to surprise anybody that she is in S tier. She does so much. She doesn't have great range damage, but she's got such great cooldown cycling and sustain on point. Damage mitigation against the Punishers out there, the Hellas out there, options to deal with them. Emma is just an insanely strong character, so I'm going to put her in S tier. I mean, this is no secret. She's up there in S. Okay. Root, dude. I mean, oh boy. Okay. It depends on the map and the bans as well, but I think he's a good pick. I'm going to put him in A tier, man. On the right maps, I think Groot gets a lot of value. You just have to ban Punisher Wolf. If Punisher Wolf are banned, I think he goes up even more. He's a great option into Emma. It just depends on what DPS are actually available. But I still think Groot is a solid pick. If you're a Groot main, you'll absolutely find a lot of value playing him, especially on the right maps. A- for Groot here. Definitely not high A, close to S. Definitely closer to B than A, in my opinion. Okay. Hawkeye, man. I think Hawkeye is mid as fuck. I'm gonna be honest. Well, no, I'm gonna... here's the problem with Hawkeye. Like, he doesn't excel at anything, but he can take over a guy. Might have to put him... I'm not really sure where to put Hawkeye, to be honest with you guys. He's definitely not a top-tier DPS this season, but he's not bad either. B+ for Hawkeye. I mean, you can play Hawkeye in a lot of situations and get a lot of value, but... he's not Hela. I don't think he's even Phoenix. He doesn't have the mobility to rapidly take angles, but dude, if you give him the map space and you aren't running a shield tank, this is absolutely a DPS character that can take over a lobby. Super sleeper, great into Cloak because he can one-shot her out of her ult really easy. B+ for Hawkeye in my mind. B+ for Hawkeye in my mind. Just a little situational, not great against dive, and can be tough against things like Psylocke. Hela! It's crazy that this character keeps getting the pass on everything. Like, I can go down the list of DPS that have gotten neutered consistently, and Hela gets to remain queen. Her hero fantasy needs to be strong, I guess, and some heroes, you know, just don't get the same love. I don't think she should get heavily nerfed or anything like that, but she's just clearly one of the best DPS in the game. Insane 2-tap burst potential. Hit scan in any game is always going to be insanely powerful, and if it's got 2-tap mechanics with mobility options and a solid ultimate, yeah, she's going to be very, very good, and she stayed good this entire time. Human Torch. I think Torch is solid. I'm going to put Torch in B tier. I see him getting banned a lot, and there are times where, like, you do want to run him into, like, those super brawl comps, and he can be A tier, okay? Human Torch is not a bad DPS. I just don't think he's one of the best DPS. His ult can't kill through support ults too consistently. It can sometimes. Like, Luna ult is going to be tough. Like, I think he's great in the right hands. I think in the right hands, he's A or S tier. But if your average player picks him up, I expect him to be kind of middle of the pack until you can learn him. But make no mistake, that character has an insanely high ceiling, and if you're capable of taking him to it, he will be great. Torch bans do surprise me, though. It does surprise me to see him be getting banned quite a bit. I don't think he necessarily is a high priority ban in this game. Okay, Sue Storm, I'm going to put an A tier. I think her shield is really, really good. She's a great pocket DPS. She's a great enabler. Her ult is a little bit weaker compared to a lot of the other DPS in the game, but I'm going to put her in an A tier mainly because if Wolverine's not banned, she's one of the few answers to him and that you can at least snatch your team out of a snag. That alone is going to be enough for me to rank her in A tier because I hate to spoil Wolverine, but I'm going to go ahead and put him in S tier right now and save everyone the time. We'll finish Sue up, but because she can counter that, she's got ranged pocket, she's got self-heal, mobility to get out of bad situations against dive with her jump and self-regeneration. All around, they're great support. Wolverine, we're just going to skip to. It is absolutely unreal that they nerf Iron Fist and give Wolverine this leech team up. It is the most game-breaking thing they've added to the game thus far. It should be nerfed tomorrow. He will be permanently banned in every single game. I would say Wolverine is the #1 ban this season. If you're not banning Wolverine, you are trolling. He is absolutely insanely game-breaking when he has this team up, and even without it, he is still insanely good. It is laughable that Iron Fist does tickle amounts of damage while they continuously buff Wolverine. They're really missing the mark here, and I hope they can lock in and fix it. Speaking of Iron Fist, unfortunately, the developers have completely ruined this character. They did the one thing the Iron Fist players, including myself, said they could not do in his rework, and they ruined his damage. This is what they did that went wrong with the character. In Season 0, he had the longest cooldowns of any DPS in the game as a melee-based character. That made him insanely difficult to play and frankly not really a great pick compared to most of the other DPS in the game. So what did they do? Again, his kick was on a 12-second cooldown. Black Panther dash is on an 8. Hella Bird is on that cooldown, and it repositions her while she has hit scan damage. They lowered his damage against squishies. They reworked his damage to be 11 flat damage or something, plus 2.1% of enemy max HP, which ended up being a 20% damage nerf against 80% of the roster on a character that already didn't do very much damage. But to compensate for that, they significantly buffed his cooldowns. They buffed his regeneration rate. When you punch somebody, it was a 1-second cooldown to get your block back. They buffed it to be a 1.5-second reduction. They also reduced the base cooldown by like 2 seconds on the kick, I believe, and a little bit more on the block too, and they improved his shield generation from his block. They then reverted almost every single one of those buffs and left him as undoubtedly the worst damage dealer in the entire DPS role. They've created a DPS that cannot duel other DPS because he will lose that duel 100% of the time. It was the worst rework I've ever seen in the hero shooter genre, and you know, they've got an obligation to maintain his hero fantasy, to revert those damage changes, to have it go back to being flat damage. His only gameplay loop right now is to permanently punch the tanks. If you try to contest anything else, you do absolutely 0 damage. He is the worst melee DPS in the game. The only thing that you can do for him that's valuable is if they're running double tank comps and you have a Luna Snow and honestly a Mantis damage boost. I actually tried queuing Iron Fist with Mantis damage boost last night, and it was the only thing that made him playable into squishies. They really need to revert that change. He's only going to be B tier because of his uptime. The main value Iron Fist brings is a large amount of uptime against double tank comps and the ability to instantly break rocket ult. That's it. That's all he does. His ult does no damage. Supports can survive his ult just by healing each other without ultimates easily, to the point where he's not remotely competitive. He's at a disadvantage. Iron Fist is the only character that's at a disadvantage when he ults going for kills. Then it's really bad. It's really, really bad. And if he loses his 15% damage boost from Team Up Anchor, he will be the worst DPS in the history of the hero shooter genre. People need to stop acting like he's Black Panther with insta-burst kill potential. He doesn't doesn't have any of that. He doesn't have Spider-Man's mobility and ability to walk in and get a kill quickly. It really is sad what they did to this character because he's one of the coolest characters in the game, and they need to revert that terrible rework and keep his cooldowns a little bit lower, and he'd be fine. So Iron Fist, B tier, B minus at best. Really shameful what they did to that character. A damn shame. Very, very cool design and truly a waste. Iron Man. I still think Iron Man is A tier, man. I still think he's good. His damage is still great from range. His overdrive is great. The threat of Iron Man ult holds Magneto ult hostage and support ult hostage if they don't have a mag. I mean, I love playing Iron Man. You can force high ground angles. I think he's the best flyer in the game still. I love Iron Man, dude. I still think he's a very, very, very good pick. All right, Jeff the Shark. I think Jeff is also just B tier. He's situational. He can be good. He can be great on the right maps, the right comps, but it's hard to make that work a lot of the time, mostly because your teammates are going to be really difficult about it, but he's really not bad. On God, named Father, Son, Holy Spirit, he's actually pretty dang good, okay? You just have to have a team that's willing to play around it and not hard throw the game because you're on Jeff, which is half the problem. Outside of that, though, I think he's a solid pick. Okay, Loki, I mean, dude, S tier instantly. I don't even need to go into too much detail about Loki. I think he's been the best support in the game right there with Luna this entire time. Just an insane character. The clones, the runes, the output he has, the ult is insane. He just does so much all at once. Incredible character, the best anti-dive character in the game. Loki is a beast, man. He's a beast. S tier for Loki for sure. I feel like I don't even have to explain that. The same is gonna go for our girl Luna Snowman. I mean, this girl is dodging nerfs like Neo in the Matrix dodging bullets. It's pretty incredible that they have not done anything to her ultimate yet. I think the game would be much better if they nerfed ult duration across the board, including DPS duration. If they have to nerf all of them together, I think the game would be in a very, very good spot. A lot more playmaking would happen. Rival Stall Fest. I was going to call it Stall Watch, but, you know, we got to think of a crafty, you know, little lingo from our rivals here. She's very, very, very good. It's no surprise. She's got the best neutral in the game for supports outside of Loki. She's got the best ultimate in the game for supports. Yeah, this chick is just dodging nerfs left and right. Pretty insane. Very obvious favoritism. Okay, Magic, dude. I think Magic is Midjick, okay? Midjick. Super mid character. Flyers have gotten much better, especially with Ultron being in the game now as well. She's very hard to force, but in the right hands against the right comp, she can be excellent. But yeah, well, no, I'm going to put her in C. I think the Flyers are just too good against her easily. At least Iron Fist can sustain on cart and, you know, anchor cart and play kind of like a Mei in Overwatch and do stuff like that. Magic can't really do that. Much harder to play, probably one of the harder flankers to play in the game, but with Flyers being better and better, the Thing being in the game too to mark her cooldowns, like, you know, she's much, much harder to play. Magneto, man, has been S tier since the game came out. I've explained it in every tier list. I'm not going to go through it again. It's so obvious why this guy is so good. He just does everything. He's the best solo tank. This guy does so much. Magneto on top. Mantis, man. Hey, Mantis is back. Mantis is going to be B tier for me. I can't quite put her in A tier, but I give her a B+. She's actually much better now. The Mantis Widow comps are insanely good. I was trying Mantis Iron Fist last night, and I was putting in the Lord's work. It turns out when my character has his original damage values, I can actually compete and outplay most of the cast in the game. Who would have thought? But yeah, no, I think Mantis is a very solid pick. I think she's sleeper good now. If you ban Loki so they can't copy Luna ult twice, Mantis can actually be very, very good, especially if you're playing with a combo that can kill through one of the support ults. Luna Mantis might be back. We'll see. And there's a lot more viable answers into those ults nowadays, so we'll see how it goes. I think Mantis is sleeper. I also think Mr. F is sleeper, man. I'm going to put him in B tier. He can be very, very good. He's great in Brawl. He's the new character I want to learn this season. He's been pretty good. His ult is very situational. I still think they should try to make that ult more controllable by the player. Like, let the player actually control the character. But outside of that, man, like, he's solid. He's got a great cooldown cycle to brawl with his tanks, and you don't respect him, he will put in the Lord's work against you. So you got to respect Mr. F. I'm going to give him a B+, okay? Moon Knight. Ass, man. They've got to reduce this dude's cooldowns. Like, his Onk needs to be on, like, an 8-second cooldown instead of a 10-second cooldown. His damage isn't competitive enough for his cooldowns to justify them being that high. I think if they lower his cooldowns a bit, he'll be a bit better. He's really only good into the Groot comps and the Thing comps, but he's super situational, very niche, and you have to be a great player to play him. It's a shame because he's actually one of my favorite DPS in the game. The dopamine hit that Moon Knight gives you. They also changed his ult, and that made him bad. The ult changes they gave him made it worse. It would be better if his ult was more compact and all of that damage went in one place. So if you nailed the prediction on the Cloak ult or the Jeff ult or something like that, all of the damage hit in one spot and you could actually get a kill. That would be significantly better. They should compress the ult and make it more powerful in the compression so that he can actually kill through things. If they change him like that, he might be a very viable DPS option. They have a bad habit of making the bottom tier DPS trying to make changes to them and making their win conditions worse rather than better. They did it with Iron Fist and they also did it with Moon Knight. Those were the two biggest losers of the reworked balance changes that they've made thus far that they should go back in and fix if they can. Namor's gonna go up to A tier here, man. He got some solid buffs. He was already a good character. He's great with Luna and Rocket ult. He's great with Hulk, who's a lot better as well. Great into the Spider-Mans, the Black Panthers out there. Namor definitely going to be an A tier pick for me this season. I think he's very, very solid. Jean Grey, dude. Okay, I've seen a little bit of her. She wasn't as strong as I thought she'd be, but I'm going to give her an A tier, man, at least. She's at least an A tier in my book. Insta counters Rocket ult. She's so good at taking off angles. Oh my god, she is insanely good on angles, has lifesteal built in, very, very lethal, good AoE splash damage in the right hit scan player's hands. Oh my god, she's hella 2.0. She's at least A tier. If I get this wrong, she'll be S tier. I think she's actually a very solid pick. I think A tier is a good spot for her. I don't think she's a must pick or a must ban, but she is incredibly strong. Definitely top half of the DPS for sure, especially because she can instantly break Rocket Raccoon ult and Loki clones and beacons. You love to see more options like that in the game. Psylocke, dude, hot take. I think Psylocke is fucking S tier, dude. I think Psylocke is so, so good, especially if she gets the Emma team up. I think she's one of the best DPS in the game, at least in ranked. This character terrorizes ranked games. She's been great for a while. She's just insanely lethal in the right hands, and there's nothing you can really do about it, man. Psylocke, insane damage dealer, especially in solo queue. Might fall off a lot more in the team setting where people are much more coordinated, but in solo queue ranked, she's one of the best damage dealer flankers in the entire game. Great ult as well. People aren't great about playing against that, but the higher up you go, the easier it is to deal with Psy, but the players also get much better as well. Psylocke S tier in my book. She's too good in ranked. I've seen too many Psys take over games in ranked to rank her lower than that, especially because Emma is so good. If Emma gets knocked down a peg or that team up goes away, I think she's going to go down a peg as well, down to A tier. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'm going to drop Rocket to A tier because of Phoenix. Like, there are more things in this game that check his ult now than before. And because of that, like, he's a good pick, but I don't know if he's quite S tier. He's, like, you can play him in almost any situation, but I don't know if he's, like, the best support in the game, especially with Phoenix being a viable option to nuke his ult nowadays. Okay, Rocket, gonna be A tier. Scarlet Witch, man, I still think she's doo-doo. I think she's C tier. Like, at least Iron Fist can live forever. Like, there are some witches that can get a lot of value. If her team up was with Mag, she would be B tier. Unfortunately, they moved it to Strange, and Strange had a big fall off as well. Witch can't compete with Hela, Hawkeye, Bucky, Punisher, you know, I like all that stuff. She just can't compete with it. She just can't, which is a shame. But maybe that's how the character should be. You know, if her team up was with Magneto, she'd be fine. Her team up Anchor is just not as good this season. And so if Strange was better, she would be better. Indirect nerf to her. Spidey, man, I think Spidey is still B tier, dude. He can do so much on his kit, like pulling people off the map, swinging in for combos. He can be such a nuisance and such a good resource draw that I can't rank him lower than B tier, but, you know, he's still solid. Like, he's definitely solid. Second or third best flanker in the game. Just does a lot. The solid B+ for me this season. Squirrel Girl, also going to get a B. Seeing a lot more Squirrel Girl, man. She got great damage. Her ult is pretty solid. Her traps are good. She's got a new team up this season as well. I think the team up with Spidey was super underrated. I wish she could have kept that. I think that Squirrel Girl is a very solid pick. I'm going to give her a B+ as well. Star-Lord. I'm going to give Star-Lord a B+. I think he's a bit worse because, again, the range damage dealers are really, really good right now. And Mag is still good to check his ult. Star-Lord's a B+ for me. I can't rank him in the A tier yet because, like, it's just so much easier to play Phoenix and Hela and Punisher and all those other things. And their ults are better as well. If Mag fell off or Loki fell off, I think Star-Lord would be much, much better. He's not bad. He's just not a top tier DPS in my opinion, depending on the bans. You can make some good bans to enable him, and he could be one of the best DPS in the game. Definitely a lot of carry potential on Star-Lord. You can do a lot on that character. Storm, I'm going to put in B tier as well. People have adapted to that team up. They save Iron Man ult for it. They save Mag ult, even Star-Lord ult. Punisher ult can kill through the Storm Tornado sometimes. People have adapted to the Storm Jeff combo, the Sharknado. It was really good. She's not a bad ban if you don't want to deal with it, but I think she's a solid damage dealer, but she's certainly not one of the best. Punisher, man. Dude, I think Punisher is insanely good. I'm going to give him an S tier here. His ult is insane. His damage is insane. He's just one of the most consistent damage dealers in the game. And his output post-damage buff is just really, really good. For that reason, I'm going to put him in S tier. I feel like this does not need much explanation. He just does a shitload of damage. I think the thing is a lot better this season, especially against Flyers. I'm not sure where to put him. I'm going to put him in B tier right now. I'm going to put him in B tier for now. He could easily be A tier.
Want a break from the ads?
All right, we got Thor next. I think Thor is fucking dog shit, dude. I think Thor is so bad, man. Like, listen, you can get value on Thor, but he just takes so much damage. Yo, get this shit off my screen. What the frick? Thor is just ass, guys. He's just, like, I don't know, man. Maybe he's C tier. Like, you can get value on Thor. Make no mistake. He's just so easy to counter. And if Wolverine is not banned, he's unplayable. Like, actually unplayable. They got to take another look at this character and see what they can do to make him a little bit more fluid. Not infinite sustain, just a little bit more fluid, okay? Ultron! Okay. I think Ultron's A tier, man. I think he's an A tier pick. Great in triple support comps. Great damage dealer. Really cool looking character as well. Great pocket. The buffs they gave him were very, very solid. I'm a big Ultron fan. I don't like playing against the triple support comp a lot of the time, but they definitely nailed the flying support for sure. They definitely nailed the flying support that they wanted to add to the game. Ultron gonna be A tier. Venom as well, dude. I'm seeing a lot more Venom get value this season. I think Venom is A tier, man. I think he's solid. He's definitely not S tier broken, but there are a lot more Venoms getting value. Dude, if this doesn't get off my screen, I'm gonna go hunt down Liam. I'm gonna be Liam Neeson. I'm gonna hunt down whoever made it like it's a Taken movie and you took my whatever the frick, okay? All right. Venom, though, very, very solid pick. I think he's in a great spot. And no surprise here, Bucky gonna go all the way up to S tier. He might be A tier, but he does so much, man. He does so much. It's crazy how the range damage options continuously get buffed, but like characters like Iron Fist, like Moon Knight, like Magic, I guess maybe not Magic, but Thor, they keep getting shafted. They really got to do a better job with those bottom end characters. But this is my ranked tier list for season 3. Honestly, I'm pretty happy where the game is at right now. What about you guys? Do you agree with this list? Do you disagree? What would you like to see change? Where am I wrong? You tell me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care. Much love. Peace.